Morning everybody, and this is your Dow Jones setup for today. So lots of sellers coming in at the top here. Are we looking for a reset to something bigger? And what I mean by that is, are we looking to come and close this gap at 41,614? Are we looking to come back down to 41,885? So logic here is quite simple. We've had a strong move up. We are now either going to range for an extended period of time as the market catches its breath, or we're going to sort of pull back onto some structure, close this gap, which is what we definitely need to happen, build a base lower down, and then have another attempt to get going again. So that's kind of what I am looking for. I definitely don't want to be jumping in long up here. I'd rather be jumping in long lower down. Now the other thing is, you can see we ranged there, now we're ranging again. So oscillator's not offering anything at the moment. There's a bit of a crossover and we are rolling a bit, so could be something to read into that. I'm not convinced, because when you look at the hour, this is just complete confusion. So from Friday through to yesterday, big up, big down, all in the hours time frame. In amongst the moving averages, look at my oscillators heading off lower, but price isn't really heading off lower. We have formed a series of higher lows. Could be a case that we're trying to break those higher lows. If I draw a trend line along that, we're going to have a break. I'm not going to read too much into it. It is after hours. So I am of the opinion that we have 50-50 calls on the table at the moment. So if you look at the 15-minute, there's no ways you can look at that as an opportunity. So there is some shorts, well, there are some shorts brewing on the other two indexes, on the DAX and the S&P 500. So I do think that we're probably looking at some kind of a little reset across the board. So I'm reluctant to be chasing longs at the moment. I'd rather be looking at what's happening here on the 15-minute. You can see crossover of the moving averages and prices below it at the moment and hovering below the 150 EMA. But I would be looking, there's a public holiday here, bear that in mind. So I'd be looking at short. So keep an eye on the market, see what's going to transpire, and I'm going to pick one, not all three. So it's either the S&P or the Dow, and figure out which one it is before we get going in. So what we're looking at is, let's just do this on the hour. So there is some structure right where we are now. If you look left, there's nothing higher up. There could be something there. There's definitely a top of range. Now the only concern I've got with hunting shorts at the moment is this could turn to be a range, so you could find support at 42,056. And if you look at the oscillators at the moment, that's really what it does look like. So if you're going to hunt for little scalps here, you can see the 5 minutes are already moving quite solidly. So what you're looking for, if you look at the 5 minute, you've got an opportunity to be short at 42,126, and then you have another one right here where we are. But I'd wait for price to move back and come back here before looking at that. So what we'd be doing is the exact same price action as what we do on the higher time frames. You can see there's a pin bar off a level below the moving averages. So definitely was a short there, but typical after hours price action. You can see the volatility. So yeah, I think there is definitely opportunities for little moves to the downside. It's either off this level here at 42,108, which is probably the most logical one. So you'd want to see price move back, come back and reject this. You've got a 65-point stop loss above the current high of today, and then you're looking at a 54-point gain. Probably not the best risk to reward. Yeah, there's a lot of structure there. I'm going to take that back. I think the better structure, the better short structure is going to be on the S&P or the DAX. And this, we're too close to the target, and your stop loss is going to be too high. Unless you're going to be doing your stop loss just above the price action, then the risk to reward will be fairly decent. But I think 42,050 and 4200 is probably going to hold up price, and what you're going to see is that's going to be the range. So it's going to come back or even drop down to the low of yesterday, like that. So this is going to be the bigger range that's going to form. Anyway, multiple opportunities. I just don't think you want to be jumping in long at this level. We want to see decent structure before we start looking for longs. So if you're going to short, just sit there and watch, and bear in mind that you've got probably a 50-50 probability of making money, but if you've got a tight stop loss, I think it's worth the risk. This could be a fairly decent opportunity just to ride whatever reset happens. It might only be to the bottom of the range, or it could be down to the gap here. So opportunity is there. Anyway, that's it for me today. I hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.